one of the things that also interested me when we talked last night was that you are a
Certified bourbon steward.
certified bourbon steward.
This means that I can talk a whole lot about bourbon.
A whole lot.
A whole
So I
lot.
want.
But I'm not from Kentucky. I had just went there last year, which is great.
How do you know a good bourbon?
So it really, again, is all about your flavor preferences, really.
I mean,
When
without having to taste it, if you was gonna tell me, what was some of the things that you'll tell me where I can probably just start there?
Well, I would say that when you're trying to define what bourbons you like, you're also going to think about what you like.
I don't
If
know
it's
nothing
pepper,
about bourbon.
if it's you're going to stick you're going to look at the proof for one thing. So let's
the
look at
proof,
we'll start
okay.
with the proofs. Anything 40% and up, that's usually going to be your starting point. Anything lower than that, it's probably going to be a little watered down. It's not going to be the greatest. But you're going to look at the aging process. So anytime you're looking at a bottle and it says that it's got a number on it that says it's been aged for a certain number of years, whether it be 3 years, 5 years, and up, the longer that it's been aged, the more robust that flavor profile is going to be. And it usually means that the proof is also going to be a little higher.
Now, the color got anything to do with it?
The color, if it's bourbon, it should be brown.
Should be brown.
But it's also going to be that particular bourbon's mash bill that creates that color. Some may look a little bit more honey and be a little lighter, and some may be a little darker. But that's really what they put in there. Whether
Now
or
we're
not
gonna
they
taste
use.
some of these right here. We got a couple for us to taste, and you're gonna show us how we need to do this so we can.
Yep. So typically, when you're gonna taste that first.
I
sip,
need to pour the special way over my back shoulder, anything like that.
No, we don't want you to do that. We don't want to have no accidents, no, because we can't.
Yeah,
We
'cause
can't
you
waste
like to
it.
see me get up.
We can't waste it.
All right, that's one bourbon we got. Cigars on the ground.
Yeah, I don't want to see you do that one. I don't want to see him do that one. No.
What you can do is, now that you've poured these, you can kind of look at the colors. Now that you have them in the glass, and you can see one's
one of
just a
them got
tad.
that nice smell.
Yeah, they smell good, but you can see just by looking at it. We kind of start with how it looks.
How it
so
looks.
you kind of know, what that means. It's going to have, a nice golden color. It's going to look like, it's got some toffee. You can kind of figure out, the alcohol content too based on the color. And so
Ray can't wait to drink this, boy.
visibility, looking at it, that's the first step. Then you want to nose it. So you want to hold that glass up, and you don't put it right up under your nose. A lot of people make that mistake when they're trying to get those first initial notes, and they're smelling it. You just hold it down. You don't have to hold it all up in your nose.
Not like wine, right?
No, we call it nosing. It's still nosing, but you're not putting your nose into the glass. You just kind of want to hold it, down here. And as I'm inhaling it, I'm getting it through my nose, and I can also open my mouth, and I can get some of that flavor, as I'm, swirling it in the glass. And so that kind of helps you determine, what you think you're going to taste once you actually take that first sip. So if I'm inhaling it and I'm smelling it, and I smell, hints of honey or pear, and I actually do smell a little bit of pear, I may pick up notes of apricot, I may pick up, apple, different flavors,
like a
little
fruit bowl.
orange. So you do typically will taste that. You'll taste honey, you'll taste nuts, you'll taste, different types of fruits. And that's how you really kind of know, what you're going to like, if you're not going to like it. If you nose it and you're smelling a lot of spice, it may be cinnamon, it may be cardamom, it could be nutmeg, it could be all kinds of different things that are created in that particular brand's mash bill. And the mash bill basically is the recipe for the bourbon.
So that's a recipe. Mash bill is a recipe.
You were saying earlier, it's out of Kentucky. If it's not out of Kentucky.
Yeah, if it's not bottled and aged in Kentucky, then it is not true bourbon. It can
Y'all
be a bourbon.
hear that?
It can be a bourbon whiskey.
If it's not from Kentucky, it's not bourbon.
That's right. It's not a true bourbon. And so this is this one is actually very fruity. I can feel a little bit of heat when I get it under my nose. And so when you sip it, you're going to put it on your tongue. You typically want to put it on the back of. You want to let it rest on the back of your tongue.
He like
You know, just
addressing
kind of
back
let
in
it
the
there.
stomach. He
You just
shot.
don't, yeah, you don't just take it to the head. You want to, take your time with it. Take your time with it.
Alcoholics don't do good at this.
No,
They don't do good at
no.
this.
Well, alcoholics, that at
They
that
just
point
be
they
drinking.
just need the alcohol. They don't need the actual flavor of it. So they can be fine with some Mad Dog 2020. But
Because this is like a
but
patient process
this
when
is
you really a new bourbon.
yes, it's very much a process of learning what you like and what you don't like. So when I put this on my back of my tongue, I immediately started to get some of those spices. So you'll get some of those spices, and then on the front of my tongue, I may get some sweetness. And so you kind of want to put it in your mouth and just hold it there for